They say, who do you pick, the Democrats or the Republicans? And I tell you, neither. The reason being is because when the Republicans was in office in 2020, when coronavirus happened, there was partial martial law and they told everybody not to go to work. So, and, people started getting kicked out of their homes and getting evicted because they couldn't pay rent. So then the president said, don't kick them out their homes. So between the middle of 2020 to the middle of 2021, no one had to pay, right? But what happened was when the Democrats got in office, they said, okay, well, let's raise their rent because they got to pay what they, pay that back rent when all they were doing was listening to the government. So then, it's been past a year because like the rest of 2021, and then now it's over a year, you know what I'm saying? But the rent is actually going up because a lot of these politicians, they own, these apartment buildings and they're getting buku money off of these people. And I'm starting to see, even with the Democrats in office, a lot of old people who are like 85 years old, 75 years old out here on the streets. They're getting kicked out because their social security is not enough and they're in the homeless shelters and stuff like that. And now, like in the area where I'm at currently right now, they do have low income, but the low income is $1,500 a month. It's what they told me. They told me I only have to pay $1,500 a month for this apartment that was up the street. And they told me that was a half off. They said, so basically $3,000 a month is what it costs for an apartment down here. So I'm sitting up here like, wow. All right. So then you got to think about that. For $3,000 a month, you, 3 times that, because they want triple your income in order for you to stay into the apartments. So that's $9,000 a month that you have to make in order just to get a 1-bedroom apartment down here. And I'm sitting up here looking at this situation, like, cause they also, these apartment buildings, want the first month's rent, the second month rent, and the down payment, and they're all, $1,500, you know what I'm saying? Right? So we got all these homeless people who are like old, 85, 75, 70 years old out here on the streets because they can't pay rent, so, but then I hear that the Republicans, now that the Democrats is in office and they still haven't lowered the rent, they should have been lowered the rent back to normal because, minimum wage has not gone up in certain places in the United States, but rent has. Like, that makes no sense. Plus, you know what I'm saying? The people only did what the government asked them to do, right? And they're not getting as many, the checks that they were getting, from the coronavirus it started from the Republicans, right? The Republican relief, So, but when I heard that the Republicans is like trying to take away, Social Security, from the old people, and they barely are, they're getting, a lot of them is homeless now. It's like, man, I don't trust both sides. One, I can say that when the Republicans was in office, that during this time frame, they said, do not kick out any of the people. And they were sending out money. Now I'm starting to see, cause there was a lot of people that became homeless before the president said, don't kick them out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why he did what he did, the Republican president, Trump. But why hasn't the rent, reverted back to, $500 a month, $600 a month? Why does it keep going up? Even, taxes is double. Now I understand the taxes is doubling because of the riots and stuff. But like I said, they getting stuff for like 10 cents. They're getting, shampoos for like 5 cents, but turning it around and selling it to you for like $7 or $10. You know what I'm saying? Because they're buying it in bulk. So, they're, at this point in time, everything should have went back down, but it's still going up. So like, I could see, I could see how, it's both sides is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is there homeless 85-year-old people out here? You know what I'm saying? Why hasn't the rent went back down so that these people could get a place to stay with their social security that they currently have? Democrats that are currently in office, in the presidency that has that control. Because we know they have that control, because once Trump said, don't kick nobody out from the Republican side, didn't nobody get kicked out of their apartments. They listened to the president of the United States. Understand that, right? But on the other hand, now that the Democrats is in office, it's like, hey, just kick them out, whatever, raise the rent, raise the rent. Like, I don't understand. But like I said, the Republicans, people keep telling me that the Republicans are stating to take away Social Security when these people are barely making it as is, but they worked for that Social Security, for that money, and now they're 80 years old, and it just seems like both sides is not working for them. There's friction. Look out, these. So see where I'm coming from. From the middle of 2020 to the middle of 2021, that was a year. The Democrats, when they got in office, said, okay, we got to raise their rent so that we can level that out. Even though the government told these people not to work, so they couldn't pay their rent, right? So, all right, so now that it's been a year, it's been over a year. It seemed like after the year passed and people were paying double the rent, it seemed like the rent went up even more. Because, it didn't go back down. It didn't revert back down to $500, $600 a month. Like I said, this is crazy, people.